All right, welcome to Wealth Cartel, where hindsight's a motherfucker.
Our mission is to stop people saying, I wish I had a listen, and to help people capitalise on everyone else's mistakes before making them themselves.
In summary, our tagline says it all: turn our hindsight into your foresight.
So we're just a couple of lads from the west and the central coast who grew up without really any wealth around us and used it to motivate us to make something of ourselves.
Along the way, mainly as we matured, we did a lot of things right, but more importantly, we made a lot of mistakes.
A lot of mistakes that could have been avoided by not being know-it-alls and actually listening to what others had told us instead of thinking, no, not me. So my name's Akko. I'm a small business owner with a bunch of franchises called Pen on Picasso at the moment, with large plans of building a large business portfolio.
I'm Kingy. I'm a financial advisor looking to break the mold on what good advice should look like and start teaching people how to enjoy life to the fullest while also planning for tomorrow out of my business, 3 Kings Wealth Management.
Down here at Bella Vista Hotel, guys. Bella Vista Hotel has got a podcast room set up here for everyone to use. It's a great spot, good little setup for us. Nice little backdrop as well, if anyone's seen the backdrop. So, yeah, if it looks familiar to you guys, this is Bella Vista Hotel. Get down.
Get down here. It's got great food, great drinks, great cocktails, a good little atmosphere, not just for the podcast. They come down for the podcast or come down for a feed and check the guys out. Thanks for supporting us.
Thanks, guys.
Enjoy the episode. One of the best things ever.
We totally agree.
We chatted about this before we'd even started the podcast. The conversation was, I got one dude told me one day, I can't remember who. I fucking still to this day don't know who it was, but he said to me, when you played footy, did you train? I was like, yeah. And he was like, why? To get better. Why would you not go speak to someone to teach you how to learn how to deal with your mental health? Like, you're not, like, we outsource. I outsource everything. I outsource my financial advisor. I outsource my accountant. Such a kept secret,
but I tell everyone. Like, shout out to Deb.
When you're a professional, when you're not a professional, why are you trying to be? Why are you trying to understand marriage when you haven't done it forever, and there's no instruction manual on how to fix something like that? So these people give you that, and it is demonized. And people go, "Oh, you've seen a site." I
get it out there all the time. I love
it. It's the best thing anyone can do.
And when they help you get through something, the lessons you learn through, not just your like. You can just the fact, like Gemma and I, the fact that we can identify things quicker.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting to with Jason and I. Is this whole hearing what somebody said and being able to relay to them, A, how you've interpreted it, but B, what they have actually said to you. And that's been a big thing. And I think also the way that we see things for the business and the horses and the team is, if something isn't quite working or somebody's not quite happy or something hasn't happened or it has happened, that comes back to us. Instantly. There isn't anybody else. It's us. If the shit's hitting the fan, it's not that person's fault because they were late or because they forgot to do something.
It's your fault. That's right. It's
always
our responsibility. Why wasn't it accountable?
Yeah, exactly. Right. And when you take that responsibility for both of us, shit, this was our fault. We didn't explain this properly. We didn't, whatever.
I have a manager, and under her there's 31. So she's 30. She's one, and then under her there's 31. And there was a few little problems sneaking in, and I said to him, they were hammering her, and they were like, some of the people were like rude to her, and I said to her, listen, you don't have to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
You just manage the company. If they got a problem with the way the company's been fucking run, ring me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guess what? Yeah. No one rings because it's just a bitch circle, and we actually sacked 5 people in a week. I was like, him, her, fucking done for the way they speak.
And
because instantly, like I said to my manager, it's not your company. You don't have to worry about it. It's me.
You. Yeah.
Fucking send them this way.
Having
and
that accountability is, that's a massive thing. And I think also, this is probably more my script than Jason's, but I totally believe it. In that period that Jason and I were having our rocky time and our separation, I went and did a vision board with a girl, Kiara, shout out to Kiara, through a company that I was involved in their products. And, that vision board, some people would look at it and go, oh, you're going to cut out pictures from a magazine and stick them on a big
visualization.
Poster.
It's the law of attraction.
This is where, and The Secret and all of those kind of things. This is where I see my life going. This is what I see might be in Tweed winning the Everest, and you're all going to choke when he does. But,
is there shares in Tweed?
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Can we get him after the Everest? We'll get a cut. Is that the buyback?
Can I lay by a Tweed till the Everest?
Not a fucking Christmas present. Anyway, I think all of that stuff's really important. To whatever level you believe it or you practice it or whatever, just just those taking that negative stuff out, like that's my big thing now. That I think I probably drive people batty with it, but you know, being positive, projecting that what I'm going to throw out to the universe is going to throw back to me. Don't have a negative reaction.
The people who you do affect with that are going to lose.
Yeah.
The people that have got an issue with the way you project your positivity, and look at you like, oh, look at them, they're always. I have people like that. We chatted about last week about people talking.
And I saw you.
See that one? It was like all these people talking shit about my podcast and like what I do on Instagram. I'm like, shut the fuck up, then.
Yeah, don't watch it.
You know what I mean? Like you ring when I've got an opening, you're ringing me saying, "Where's the free piss?" and let's go to one of your openings. But you don't want to.
Don't want to support something else that you're doing. They don't have to like it, but they don't have to. And disliking it, being negative is
every single person I know. I literally know who they are. Like I know they're mates of mine. I've been told who was saying it. Like 3 of them are still living at home. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, to the people living at home having a crack, all good. But these dudes are not. They're living in garages because they fucking slap their money away and they got something to say about what I'm doing. And I just think, unlucky.
Yeah. I think one of the amazing things about work, you know, we always demonise and say negative things about working with your partner in business. But if you get through it, like you guys have, right? And when I do a thing with my clients where we always talk about, you know, people focus on the business, right? But the most important business in your life is the household. You don't go into business for the business. You own the business to improve your household, right? Yeah. And what you got to do is you got to separate the two, but run them separately with the same goals. And that comes from relationships to money to everything. But one of the things we don't look at, and I learned this with my wife, before I paid us a salary, I hired someone because I could have got her to do the job, but we just weren't working together. But what we learned from that is from what you guys learned in the business stuff with your staff about if somebody does something wrong, instead of going, you're shit, you got to go, well, hang on, what did I do? What did I do or didn't do to do that? You then take that into the household.
Yeah.
Like Gemma and I, when something happens, go, hang on.
Or vice versa.
When she reacted away, what did I do to react? And you self-reflect a lot more, and it's really, really good. But that was a really good talk. We're going to jump into hindsight. All right. So we've gone through a bit about who you are, how you got to where you are. Before we start, like the hindsight part we want to start with, is there any, I think there will be, sometimes we skip this part, but you guys have good stories. I want to know, before we get into the specifics around the 3 parts of our wealth triangle, I want to know, looking back, is there a certain moment that you guys, or moments, either positive or negative, that really, you know, changed or opened your eyes, or like the light bulb or something like that really switched you guys on to attack or back yourselves to get to where that you've taken to where you are today?
I think when Sid said that, like my old employer wanted me to take over the business and run it myself. So I've just gone straight away from just being a worker to then being an employer, literally just like that.
How did you do that?
With her help. With her help, and I was shitting myself.
Because you're quite conservative.
Yeah.
And so that's a big risk.
Yeah, and I was shitting myself. But we had a good year. It was a good lead up. It was a good time for us to do that because we had a lot of group runners and winners and the horses, and I was out like in the interviews and out in the media a lot and sort of had a lot of exposure. So it was a good time for us to do it anyhow. But it was still scary. So I sort of went from an employee to an employer.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So you took the business over?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the key behind you backing yourself to pull the trigger on doing that? Like, you would have waited up. You would have been sitting there thinking on it. Yeah. Did you almost not do it, or were you always going to do it?
I almost didn't do it. But I think we've both just sort of come to the conclusion that we've got to do it. And we've got to have a good crack and give it everything we got and go as hard as we can. And I think we're going okay.
How long did you keep doubting yourself for after you made the decision? Because that happened.
Now, look, I think once we made the decision, I was just like, we're in it now. We're going to go hard, good, man. And we're going to do it.
That's good. When I pulled the trigger on the business for the first 6 months, I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I'm making no money. I went from like 250 grand a year offered down to no money, like business. And we were doing fine. It didn't matter. And I'd planned for 2 years of income, but I was still just like,
my whole mentality with, like, if I wanted a new car, fine, get a new car, but save your money up. Keep saving. When you got the money, buy the bloody car. That's fine. But work hard for it. Put your money away and sort of needs and wants and all that sort of nonsense. But and go for that. But then when you go into a business and you need $100,000 horse truck and you need this and you need that.
Big liabilities, it's risk.
You just got to get a little loan to get it. And you got to, that was freaking me out quite a bit. Just like getting little loans because it wasn't how I was raised and how I was brought up.
And you're thinking, shit, we don't have the money there to pay it now, but
what did you do? But you just sort of learn that that's just what happens, and you eventually get on top.
Was Lucy a big part of you backing yourself into that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. And this is the positives behind going into like we talk about the negatives with being in business with your partner, but sometimes I like to focus on the positive. I look back and reflect on like things there. And Gemma pulled me out of deals that I wanted to do that she saved me. And we work shit together. And I say I wouldn't have worked, but she's put me. She's the reason like I back myself. She's like, I'll be having a shitty day, and she'll be like, babe, you're amazing. Like I watch your Instagram stories and I do this and I hear you with your client and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm a fucking
There's no way in the world, like people go through life, don't get me wrong, there are entrepreneurs who go through life on their own. Credit to them, because I couldn't have done it.
Doesn't have to be a partner
there's
though.
No fucking way, there's no way.
You've got to have a circle of people backing you.
Yeah, but
can't always back yourself.
But see, I have a circle, and I'm sure you had a circle, but there's no one like your partner.
Yeah.
There's no one. And then like for me, I'm sure you're the same. Before I met Bianca, like there's no way I could have been here. No way. And that's not to say I haven't worked my ass off and got to where it is, and I'm sure you have as well. It's not to say you don't deserve the praise, but there's no fucking chance could I have done it without her. And anyone that says they could, with their missus behind them, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's a fucking lie.
I think just touching on something really quickly about what Jay said about, he felt that taking on massive financial debt for the business was really daunting for him because of the way that he's been raised. And one of the positives that I took away from the agricultural college course that I did in horse studies, part of that was a business planning and development module, and we had to do a full-on business plan as if you were actually going to start a business. And at the time you're thinking that, you're into it and this is cool, you're not taking it that seriously. But the biggest thing I took from that was any business for the first 5 years, you've got to be prepared to be operating at a loss. Yeah, and so for me, I was saying to Jason, our first 5 years, we are going to be running at a loss. And he's kind of like, what do you mean? And I'm like, that's how you have to plan.
People got to understand the
at a loss doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but you got to understand that.
It doesn't make sense, but I think it prepares you.
And it's like,
fucking losing money.
Why would we do it?
You can't, you got to, this is critical. This is a really good point, Lucy, but this is really important that some people hear that and they go, I'm starting a business in the first 5 years. You've got to plan it. You've got to have a plan because the thing that people understand, I talk about, okay, with this business, people come to me with businesses and they're like, can you only invest in shares and stuff, right? And I'm like, cool, but you've got to understand that you will not get the return you get. Business is the best return you'll get.
Yep.
You'll get 200% returns year on year from your business if you invest right. But you do it at a certain point, you have to diversify away. So I talked to, because I got a mate of mine who runs a very successful scaffolding company. I got him into shares during COVID and we grew his portfolio by 100%. He's like, that was shit money. I was like, bro, you just got a 100% return. He's like, yeah, but I could have made heaps more on business. I know. And we had that chat, right? And it was education. But you've got to understand that 5 years of a loss is you've got to be prepared for that, but you've got to have a plan to have the ROI make that 5 years worth it.
Yeah.
So that at the back end, you're not just at a loss forever.
Yeah.
That 5 year loss is okay, but you've got to have the plan to, you can't just get the 100 grand debt and go, that's okay, we're at a loss. There's got to be a plan to make that 100 grand work.
And the proof in that was this year we paid off the said 100 grand loan on the horse truck, so that's now ours.
Yep.
The ute that we bought back in the same year, that's now done. It's paid off.
Yeah.
Those things that, okay, great. Now we've got the farm. What are we wanting to invest in? We've put in a horse swimming channel. We want to get a walker.
Is that yours, that swim, or is that the one?
No, that's the water walker.
That's the water walker. Yeah, we can afford that.
That's what you need for recovery, you big fuck. You need one of them. Just the words like the word working at a loss, running at a loss.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't mean what it sounds. It doesn't mean you're not going to be able to afford to live, and it doesn't mean your business isn't successful. It just means you've put a lot of fucking effort and money into this, and you're not going to make your money back until
overnight. Yeah,
I think the business planning you did is crucial because more businesses go out of business than like more people go out of business than stay in, right? And that's one of the things.
I think it prepared me.
That's what I mean. But it prepared you, but you had a plan to get past it. Where a lot of people will run at a loss and just run at a loss because they think that's what you're supposed to do. And
that's by a lot, bro. That percentage
A lot. It's like 7% of businesses make it past 12 months. And then
it's 15%.
No, it's like 7 and then 2% make it past 10 years.
I thought it was 15, 7 and 2.
It might be.
I think it's 15% make it past 12 months.
2 make it past 10 years with a profit. Like you make money.
2% with a profit past 10 years, and other people stay in business just to be in business.
But it's not about. It's the thing that I talk to my clients about, and Carter, our accountant, does as well. Is it's not about like if you guys are running at a loss, but you guys are paying your bills at home and you are achieving the life you want to live, and you're planning your retirement, all that stuff. Great.
It just means you're not paying the tax bill.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, that's right. But people can run at a loss without. You can run at a gain while you're at a loss if you do it right. And that's what we talk about: separating business from personal and making sure the business supports. Like you can do that. It's all about the purpose behind everything. You're not just going to work every day and get the 100K because you need it, but it's not funding anything. It's just a lot. You know what I mean? If you run your business at loss every year, but your life is running well and you're on track for everything you need to do, you're living the life.
You're doing a pretty good job. If you can manage that, that's something we spoke about. Remember we were talking about. So say you bought the $100,000 truck, right, and you pay that truck off over. Let's say for example, 4 years, paying 5% interest. You might pay $30K a year, which sounds like a lot of money. Comes out of the business. Your wage comes out of the business. Your wage comes out of the business. If you can get that business to run at zero, you're the best. You're the best. You know what I mean? And people go, how are you going well in life if you're running at zero? Well, generally,
if all your costs
there's
are being covered.
Lot of fucking people in the world that get to a certain place I know 2 dudes that got to a really high place in business and then went backwards because they were like, I just can't fucking do this.
Yeah.
And I just need to be at zero. I just need to run the business at zero, pay myself a wage, do what I've got to do because essentially the business is not for sale later. It's his life, like yours, right?
Yeah.
And that's not always going to work for all of us. It's not going to work for me, but there's a way up option there because you're not going to sell yours. You need to be a part of it for it to work. Similar to I don't. One day I'll sell mine.
At the end of the day, if you can, if your life's on track and you can live the lifestyle and the business provides that, fucking hooray.
Happy days.
You know what I mean? All right. So, Luce, what about you? Looking back, turning point.
When I say I was a shit of a kid, so when I had my first full-time job when I was supposed to still be going to college, I went and financed a really flash convertible car. But the people in the dealership knew that I didn't earn enough money to just get the one loan for the full amount. So they got me 2 loans on the same day.
Fucking dodgy.
Yeah.
Bad.
I learned
Make me
the
sick.
fucking
You know how easy it is even now
hardware.
with the hardest lending ever for an 18-year-old to go get 30 grand again.
Nah, it's fucking hard. I tried last week. Get one.
You're not 18.
Yeah, I was about to say. And my parents said to me, don't do it. You know, we're advising you not to do it. I did it. Then I got credit cards. And I was like, this free money.
So we'll go into that sounds
free
like
money.
Free money.
Free money
for 10 years until you got to pay back.
Yeah, that sounds like the classic. We'll go into that a bit more in the money segment. I'm interested looking at you, like the movie that you just told us about, which I think it's fake. I think that you just told us a movie line from somewhere. Your lifestyle, your storyline was so amazing. It's a movie. But you had this passion with horses, then you gave it up to go do the college stuff, and then what was the real turning point for you where you backed yourself to like your whole mindset changed and you backed yourself to go on the path that you wanted to be?
Jason.
Yeah. Did he pay you?
I fucking like him, mate. You're like sitting in a room with 3 real loud, obnoxious people just chilling out. It's fucking good, eh?
Hey, he's
called you obnoxious.
I've called all of us. We fucking are very...
I'm
Lucy
totally
could
cool
be part of our fucking podcast.
I think I'm going to have to be. I really like this. I don't want to get out of bed and ride track work anymore. I just want to come and do this.
You can do this in the rain and not get wet, believe me.
Jason's pretty loud and obnoxious if we set him loose in the bar on the rum.
You rum pig. You filthy rum pig.
Only rum?
Yeah,
Whatever.
no. Anything.
Is it wet?
Anyway.
Doesn't like the wet 3:30 in the morning, but if it's wet, he'll drink it.
I think the turning point was when I was at college, and heaps of my friends that were on the course took a student loan. For me, I was riding racehorses before college, loved it, earning a bit of money, cash in hand, teaching the MVQ students whilst at college.
She paid tax, but
on some of it.
We've had heaps of people come in here and say, Cash, I'm thinking, what happens if we blow up? Like, you just told the tax man you didn't pay tax? And I was talking about mine. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I pay tax,
I'm working hard, and then I had an after-college job for a mortgage company, part of the Lehman Brothers. This will make you laugh.
Ooh.
Doing collections.
Oh, beautiful. So you got zero. You collected zero?
I collected quite a lot.
Oh, did you?
Kicked quite a few people out of their homes.
So where'd they put the money? Did they pocket the money you collected? Or
did you collect
telephone collections?
Did you collect your own debt?
That's wet. We'll scratch that debt.
Free money.
Free money, credit card. So that was a turning point for me. That a lot of my mates were like, "Oh, I can't go to the Half Moon tonight. Why not? Oh, run out of my student loan money." I'm like rolling in it. Like I've got 3 jobs. I'm at college. Life's grand, grouse as you would say here. And that was probably the turning point. Like I can really put in, and I'm getting a lot out. And so my whole attitude to work and getting up and
was it because you enjoyed it?
Is that 100%? Loved it. Loved going to college. I was going to college to learn about horses. Loved riding the racehorses. Look, the mortgage company led me on a path, and it provided a really good income, and also I think it helped with my debts because I had to sit down with people at work and do an income and expenditure with them. Okay, sir, 5 weeks to Christmas, you've still got Sky TV, that's the UK equivalent of Foxtel, you're paying for your daughter's pony, you're smoking 80 Benson and Hedges a day, and you're drinking. So where are you going to drink and smoke and play with the pony on Christmas Day when we've evicted you?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you mean?
Why don't all of our guests talk to me?
Because I pay him to. Don't listen to me, you fuck.
That's a good point. That is a fucking good point. That'd be a really hard job. That would be a really hard job because there'd be certain people that got a kick out of that job, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Did you realise, because that's a very money-based job, like you're on the track money. Did you realise that? Because I have a lot of people that come through this, a lot of clients that they were corporate, earning all the money in the world, but then you were doing the horse stuff as well. Did you realise, the extra work and unenjoyment of doing, you learn stuff from it, but doing this, what I'm earning, it's not worth that. I'd rather earn what I can earn over here.
There was a turning point when I was finishing the college course that Lehman Brothers owned this company. They were a subprime lender, and there was a position in London in Canary Wharf. There was a full-time position working within the Lehman Brothers, and there was this crossroads of, I've just finished college, I could go and have the city lifestyle, I could work in Canary Wharf, it'd be super, it'd be amazing, the money's great. Not for you. Or what am I going to do when I leave college? I don't know. Thank God that I didn't choose the path of working for the Lehman Brothers, because then that was too...
So anyone doesn't know Lehman Brothers, they're one of the world's biggest banks that in the global financial crisis, they went under.
One of the first ones.
Yes.
Yeah, in 2009.
They were the biggest to go belly up.
2009? 2000...
Oh, that...
Anyway, doesn't matter.
Yeah, right, okay.
So when we went through COVID, what happened with people with the banks is the question was, because before that, no one ever thought a big bank would go under. And then Lehman Brothers went under and went, oh shit, the world's not safe. And that's what happened in COVID.
We were talking about Virgin. We were talking about Virgin the day before it happened. Remember that? We were talking about the airplanes, man. You were sitting down talking about...
I told you to buy Qantas. I don't know if you did or not.
No, I fucking didn't. I'm not. I fucking watched Richard Branson close his company, you dickhead.
Yeah, so what's left? Qantas was left.
Yeah.
We had a
conversation, and Ryan was telling me about stocks, and I don't really invest. I'd rather... We're very different in that way. I'd
rather buy another racehorse.
Or business. I just want fucking 50 businesses, and then I'll invest. Once I know that, even if 10 of them don't work, it doesn't matter. But
you do what I fucking tell you.
We discussed it because we were saying, we literally had a conversation in the morning, and we were like,
yeah, but that was when you started talking about stocks, and I said to you, no, bro.
No.
I said, don't worry about it.
When we were talking, they cut fucking flights. There was no flights internationally, and I was like, holy fucking shit. There are literally no flights. There's remember we were talking about this? There's huge debts. No. There's massive debts. I had this conversation with many people. Yeah, there's fucking big debts. No one's flying. There's pilots fold and washing now for jobs.
My brother is one of them.
Right.
In the UK. Was on the 747 fleet with British Airways. And
there you go.
He was driving a delivery truck for a supermarket.
Crazy, eh?
The next day, Richard Branson was on TV and was like, I'm closing it down. I rang him. I was like, fucking told you this was going to happen. He was like, buy Qantas.
But in all seriousness, so Dan, other clients as well, like at that point, like we made the clients that invested and were ready, and we do we're very conservative as advisors. We like we made our clients a lot of money because we knew something was. We didn't know Corona was going to hit, but everything was overvalued, and we had all our clients have a 6-month buffer to make sure. And a lot of our clients made a lot of money because they were able to spend some of that buffer and invest, right? And we don't invest for the sake of making money. That goes against it. But this time, we're like, this is an opportunity. Like, we just had I had an 18-year-old client last week turn 13,000 into 87, right? Like that's something you can't pass up. But with Dan and some other clients, I was like, I don't think you can if you want. If you want to put 10 grand in, we can manage it. But I don't think you should because you don't need to. It's like that extra 60 grand or whatever we make you isn't going to change your life. What's going to change your life is focusing on your business, putting your money back in the business. Stay on your plan. Your plan will work, is working. Stay on it. There's no point trying to divert just to try to risk a bit of money, you know? And I think that was really important during that time. That was a lesson that a lot of my clients had to learn was that, you know, cool, we could make an extra 10 grand, but what do we need to? Is it worth the risk? Because you could also lose
the risk,
Yeah. Quick short-term fix.
So you turned that around and you that was your big turning point, yeah?
That was my big turning point.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's jump into the more specifics. We're going to go through the triangle a bit more here and talk about money, health, and living. Before we get into a summary, we'll do one of each of you. So, Jace, we'll start with you. Looking at money, obviously, it's not financial advice, right? This is we're talking about what your experience has been like. Is there any positives or negatives that you would go back and do again or not do? Like big mistakes that you look back and go, shit, that was bad around money or even just lessons you learned that you wish you knew earlier?
No, I think mainly positives. I think just the real needs and wants, and put what money you can away and, you know, just keep aiming for your goal.
So that's something you did and you're glad you did.
Yeah. So, prime example, my first horsey job after school, where I used to pick up crap every day. Boss's daughter was in year 12, I think, just about to go to vet school. And I remember her asking me, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I was just like, I want to own a ranch. Because, you know, I was just like, wanted to be a cowboy, wanted to have a ranch. Yeah. And
are they called that in Australia?
No, just farms. But anyhow.
Well, cowboys or ranchers?
Only probably 6 months ago, the vet that came out to treat one of our horses said girl. And she just got there and she got out of the car and she went, well, you got your ranch. She's in our farm.
Yeah, good.
So that was my goal from when I was 12. We got there now, so... That's
a lesson I want to touch on for money, right? Because most people come on and they tell us, Lucy's probably going to be like what she just said before, you know, I got a debt that I shouldn't have got, whatever. I love that from you, Jace, because when we're younger, we think life's too short. We think it is short. Life is short, don't get it wrong. But we think, tomorrow's so far away, and we try and take those risks. And what you've done is you were conservative and you stuck to it, and you're looking back now going, I'm glad I did that. And that's fucking amazing.
That's 100% thanks to my parents and just the way they were brought up and the way they were, you know, raised.
And I've never seen someone regret being conservative. Now, I look at clients.
I've never ever seen anyone regret saving money.
Well, I see clients come in and who are too conservative. We've got to be honest, being too conservative is a risk. You know, you do have to, but you're not that case because you've got the business. My mum, for example, I got my dad and my mum. Dad is the spender, and he lived his life, but he's got, you know, he's still working for it. Mum was a saver. She's paid off her home, etc. But they're both polar opposites. I'm trying to live that balance because if mum doesn't start spending her money now, she's going to have struggle to retire, right? So that's what we're working on with her. They'll be fine, but they could have a really good... And that's the thing with people too conservative, you know. But I've never seen someone regret being conservative. You just got to make sure you don't do it for too long and you make make a go of it. But I love that lesson because so many people are like, everyone says, I wish I bought more houses or I wish I bought more stocks. But you didn't need to do that. You did the conservative stuff and you've done well from it.
You lived your dream.
It's crack on.
Cool.
Yoo-hoo! So, Lucy, what about you? So money specific.
Money specific. I think, going along the lines with, I wish that I had started saving sooner.
Yep.
So now I have every week direct debits that come straight out of my account the day that the wages hit, and they go into 3 different places. Some of it stays here in Australia when I can. I send some back to the UK. Got a couple of savings accounts happening over there. And I just wish, even if it was...
Why do you have it in the UK?
12 months, yeah.
I wish it was just $50 a week. You know, I think that would be my best advice to anybody. Even if it doesn't matter how small you think it is, even if it's $5 and actually you've got to take something.
Pay yourself first before you...
and save a little bit just because it's so rewarding. Like I've never struggled to pay for a flight to go back to the UK to see my family when I want to. You know, I will put it on a credit card here, but then I know that I've got my savings, so that I can just shoot out of my savings onto that credit card and get it done.
Do you transfer a lot of money internationally?
Do I do what, sorry?
Do you transfer a lot of money internationally?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Because I've got a guy I'll introduce you to if you need it. It'll save you so much money.
Sounds good.
That's what he does, international transfers.
That would
save you a
be
lot of money.
awesome. So I think, yes, that's saving. And this is I picked this up from a lady that I follow, Canna, on Instagram. She's Sugar Mama TV, and she does financial planning, and she does this thing, the $1,000 project. And one of her things is get a 600 ml water bottle, fill it with $2 coins, $1,000. It's just simple things that I think it just changes mindset. Like I've got an olive jar that I collect coins in, and you take that, Christmas time to the bank.
When she says collect, she's like, go through my pockets. In my top drawers. They're my coins.
I get raided.
Your piggy bank gets raided.
If I can't, my kids have figured out that if I'm not up by a certain time in the morning, I must have had a decent night. Because I'm up at 5, 6 every morning I can't help it. And even if I just lay there, I'm up. So my kids now know that if I'm not awake at that time, get Dad's wallet. Because there's change all in it. It's a fucking nightmare. They split it up evenly and put it in the money boxes.
I love it.
It's fucking thievery.
First and foremost, we won't be mentioning any other financial planners on this podcast again, eh? No.
Sorry about that.
We might have to start talking about Chris Waller a bit more.
We might have to get gay on here.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm all about collaboration, not competition. There's plenty of people out there. That's great. I love seeing people do stuff like that. We do something similar. Like we do I always say to my people want to skip past the budget and they want to do the cool stuff. But if you have a good cash flow program with no investing, you'll do far better than someone who's trying to invest without a cash flow program. So managing your money, most people can live on half of what they earn.
Yeah,
they can do what they're doing now with half of it, and then just learning how to budget and structure. Budget's such a demonized word, it sounds dirty. But so we do spending plan.
Yeah.
Because like I was saying before, pay yourself first, right?
Yep.
Like people want to, we transfer the money and then we transfer it back. It's this bullshit thing. But pay yourself first and have a spending plan that even if you still live pay to pay, as long as you're spending on the right things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we'd learnt that fucking way back when, like that, if you save 10 grand by the time you're 21, my sister's 21 now and she's about to turn 21 this month, and both my sisters are polar opposite. One, just spend. And I gave them both the same advice, coach them the whole way through. And the other one, she's just a save machine. She's got like 50 grand. She's got 21's got like 50 grand in the account. She bought her own car. She's just phenomenal, right?
Wow.
And what got her was I said to her, look, we do, like, I'm going to start managing a bit of that for you now. And because it might look like 10 grand now, but in 20 years, that's going to be worth 500. Yeah. Like the compounded effect of, you think it's $50 a week.
Yeah.
But that $50 a week over 20 years,
yeah,
it's fucking phenomenal. That's $2.5 grand compounded. You're looking at 150 grand. Like, and you change that to $100 a week and whatever. Yeah. Like it's crazy that we don't think about that. Like how many $500 weekends have you had on the piss or $100 weekends? You wake up going, fuck, and I'm never doing that again. Never. But so if I just put $100 and still had a $400 weekend, I'd be way better off. You know what I mean? Like fucking crazy.
Yeah,
but you don't want to spend that 100 too quick, because if you do have the $400 weekend, you got to have Macca's in the morning. You need menu log at 1 o'clock, and then you got to be having fucking. You can't just not.
How's him? We did his budget, and I've banned him from even mentioning Uber Eats, so he just throws menu log in there.
Oh dear.
Do you want to talk about your Uber Eats budget there?
Put it this way, my Uber Eats budget is more than most people save a week.
I think he owns Uber.
Yeah, they fucking banned me. I got a shadow ban from the fuckers. I don't know, there's going to be blow-ups because I spend heaps of money there. I was trying to get...
Vouch for that.
I was trying to get... This is after we spoke. I was trying to get fucking dessert the other night, and it was like, there are no drivers available. And I'm thinking, I fucking live in Schofield. It's not in where you live.
Genuinely no drivers available.
I literally said to my wife, jump on Uber and see... And there was heaps. And I was like, what the fuck? What have they done?
You abuse someone.
I always give them a tip.
I don't. That's good. All right, let's move on from the Uber Eats case. That's actually a good segue into the health section. So let's talk about looking back on hindsight on health, right? So now we always focus on physical health, what you eat, what you diet, what your physical activity and stuff. But we also talk about mental health as well. So looking back, is there any tips you give yourself, or that you did well, or across physical and mental, that you could go back and I guess
change or do again,
or keep the same?
Definitely drink less. Definitely drink less. That's on a health
But you can't say that. You can't say that to your old self if you're not gonna do it to your new self. You can tell yourself that today and watch it back tomorrow and go, "Fuck that! Who's that idiot?"
Yeah, what a goose. Yeah, I think that's probably it. Like, just
Have you had many physical or mental health battles, like injuries or mental health through the business or what you do?
I had a physical injury. I had a horse break down with me in a gallop, and I shattered my collarbone, and that made me take a real big step back because I was used to doing quite a lot of everything myself, and obviously I couldn't do a thing. I couldn't ride, couldn't drive a truck, couldn't do all that stuff that I usually do. So
good lesson.
Delegating, I had to delegate then, which I didn't like. I still don't like, but I have to learn to do it, and I think it's important that you do learn to delegate.
Yeah.
Okay. What about when you guys went through your struggles? How was your mental health through that? Is there anything you learned or any lessons you learned from that you've taken away?
Yeah, probably got to talk more. Got to talk more and let it out, which I'm terrible at doing.
Conservative people usually are.
Yeah.
Just bottle it up.
Yeah.
Not me. I let it all out.
Yeah. So that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Cool. Liz?
Yeah, I think mental health probably. I think it's got a real stigma about it, and mental health doesn't mean that you're depressed. It doesn't mean that you're a lunatic. It doesn't mean anything other than we all struggle. Everyone struggles.
But even if you don't struggle, mental health is no different. So when I say to you physical health, you don't think a dirty word at all.
No.
But when I say mental health, instantly someone thinks there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's health, whether it's healthy or unhealthy. It's a fucking thing.
It's like law of attraction, the thinking, your thoughts, thinking different things.
People can be the fittest person in the gym. He's healthy.
Yeah.
No one goes, you're mental healthy. But do you get what I mean? Like it's instantly the minute it's spoken about, it must be in a negative, and I feel like that's half the reason it's a fucking negative.
Negative, because that's how it's perceived, exactly. And I think probably one of the most important things in that health bracket and mental health bracket is focusing on the positive stuff. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a massive thing.
Yeah.
It just changing your mindset. So raining, it's shit, it's cold outside, don't want to get out there and do it, but you know what?
Fucking cold inside too.
There's got to be a positive in there somewhere. I don't know what it is though.
Horse is going to win the next race. That's a positive.
I don't know how you got that.
You said you weren't going to spruik it anymore, stupid.
Don't back it. You ran fourth twice. These are the trainers. Can you see? One of them talks heaps, one of them doesn't talk. The horse is shit.
Do you want to buy another one?
No. Talk later.
Wait till I leave. It gives me anxiety, this bloke. Worst client. Before we go home, I have mental health issues because of having him as a client.
I'm starting to learn. I'll get there by the end of it. I actually do really buy into the whole of the culture of what he does. It's just I'm gonna be one of them hard ones to crack. I love it. I enjoy it. I'd probably be his biggest challenge, I dare say, and that's why we work so well together. Because when I was younger,
daylight between him and the next
when you're younger and you're like I never didn't have anything, and I always had money, but I could just never go and do what I wanted to do. And then I started going all right, and I was like, I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. But there's been no future plan. There's been nothing set in stone to sort the rest of my life out, and I do want to sort that out. So, but yeah, at the moment, I mean, we've had a real big year of spending, and after Christmas, we're going to have to change it.
We'll see. Liz, what about physical? So you guys, I'm going back to this one because I know that your job's very physical, and in the horse industry, a lot of injuries and stuff. And I've had in the past when I was just in the insurance industry, I had a lot of older horse trainers up like in between like Queensland and Rocky. What's that place? Can't remember. His name's Pat. Pat someone anyway. He had good horses up there, and I had him and a couple others around there as well, and they were broken. Like they were really broken. Is there anything looking back that you know? Because when we're younger, we just get it done. Just get it done, work harder. But we do deal with, like I was in my military career, I was the same, and now I'm fucking broken, like bad. And is there anything that you would pass on to, especially people in your industry going back physically, that you guys would say like to look after longevity?
That's a really hard one because that's almost impossible. Yeah, okay. It's almost impossible. The wear and tear. I had an accident actually the week before I was due to leave Chris Waller's stable. Came off in a gallop, knocked myself out, fractured my shoulder, dislocated it. It doesn't really affect me now, but riding racehorses, being involved, dairy farmers would be the same. That level of physical stuff, I don't think there's anything that you can do to prepare yourself physically for when your knees start aching and you think you need a hip replacement because of the way that you ride and blah, blah, blah. But what I do think that ties into it is actually a conversation that we had just the other night about, as much as we love racing, we love training horses, at some point in time, we want something else so that if physically we can't be doing it the way we are, we both still ride, and we're both very hands-on with the physical stuff, having something else that's going to provide a source of income. So I think that's probably a fair backup plan. And I'd say, look, it's probably more specific to a jockey, you know, looking after themselves, training, not just relying on this sugar high hit kind of diet and eating properly and stuff. But that's relative to what we do as well.
Something good out of it though, and whether or not it's taken this way is, I suppose, if you do have to be weighed before you work, and you do have to watch what you eat, that
you know, they do that in England. If you want to ride racehorses and you want to ride gallops in England, you get weighed. And if you're over a certain weight, you're not riding gallops. If you're over more weight, you're not riding the racehorses. Yeah. And they'll put that, some stables, and people would say, oh, it's frowned upon, and there is a lot of bulimia and anorexic, you know,
well, that's obviously a health issue.
That's a health issue, but it comes back to accountability, doesn't it? Yeah. Lucy, you're 68 kilos, so you're not going to ride Purposeful Mrs. Gallops anymore, and that's probably why she's run fourth twice, because you and Rory are both overweight and she's not winning.
Was that did we just get a confession on tape? Can we do something with that?
I'm going to get lots of earnings. I'm going to speak to my insurance company.
Is there a horse ombudsman?
I think that's
choose her or me.
I think that's a real fucking hard thing as well. Is physical health is huge in society, and everyone's like, let's go to the gym. But not everything's about the gym. No. You know what I mean? Like, a good PT will tell you 90% diet, and that comes down to not just being able to be fit or lose weight. Yeah. It's the fact of the way you're feeling and the way your mind's working, and organic food, and being able to just
going for a walk every day. People, you know, think that to be physically active and activity is going to the gym and smashing out the high intensity cardio.
In your industry, that could be counterintuitive, because you could be injured quicker and stuff like that. And
go for a walk. Mental health walking. Yeah, it's all linked in.
I'm going to take this a different way, because I'm in, like, you guys are early risers, your job, and I am inspired by early risers. Like, I've started it this year and I fucking hate it, but I enjoy it when I do it. I struggle. I'm a night person, but this is something I want to do health-wise, because those early mornings, like, our bodies are not made for that, no matter how much you train it. No. Our circadian rhythm is way off, you know, like it's not made for that. It can be a stress, it can affect you. Is there anything you look back around that, especially, I think, if we look at injuries, you know, if you're tired around your job, you could easily get injured by a horse not being switched on. Is there anything that you would look back or pass on around that? Because that could be my sister, I'm thinking about my sister with a car accident. Half of that was because she wasn't getting enough rest, and
I think it raises a big sticking point in the industry, which I know they've been trying to change for a long time now, is that the way that it's operated in Australia certainly is very antiquated, and the hours are not necessary. It's not necessary to open the track at that time. It's not necessary to work your horses that early.
Yeah. Why?
It's antiquated. It's antiquated. It's to do with preparing the tracks for the races that day. It's to do with getting your horses worked and then getting yourself to the races that day. It's to do with the track work, the track people who manage the grounds and the tracks, you know, cleaning the tracks up after track work's happened. And it's all this whole antiquated system. When Chris Waller went to the UK and visited Newmarket and went over to Ireland, the biggest thing he came back with was how the staff were different and they had a better quality of life, because they were not getting up as early, and even 1 hour would make a massive difference to everybody in the industry.
So you're governed to when you can ride track work?
Yeah, the track opens at, say, 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Is that a racing New South Wales or a track thing?
And it shuts at
It's an individual track thing, but
if you got 20 horses
that's your
to
day
ride,
of work.
If you got 20 horses to ride, you got to get them on the track and ridden in between that time frame.
And do you feel like it's a benefit to have a horse, say, for example, Missy's home track is Hawkesbury? Is it a benefit for her to ride track there and then race there, or would it be essentially...
home track advantage definitely is a thing.
Helps. And also, like, you know, they're in a trailer and a truck for 3 hours going to Muscle Brook, and they're in the track, sort of, shaking around and getting a bit nervous. Whereas going to Hawkesbury, she's like 10 minutes down the road, gets off the track.
So what would you guys have any tips for people how to manage that? If we can't, that's a big industry change that we need. What are your tips to manage that the best way possible? Because that's huge. That's a massive issue.
I think, we quite often try and resist to have any downtime or a nap during the day. And you know what? Actually, sometimes you've just got to do that. And
I'm feeling like that right now. I'm like, fuck, I'm
with
tired.
that boring.
No, I've been getting up. I've been doing what you've been doing. I've been doing the 4 a.m. wake up, and I'm just not used to it. I get a second win. I'm good.
Yeah.
But fuck, I get tired.
There's quite an interesting book called Why We Sleep. And it's interesting, but it's also really frightening. You mentioned on the circadian rhythm and those sorts of things, and not getting the right amount of sleep. I had a subretinal swelling when I was commuting into Rose Hill and suddenly had really bad blurred vision in my right eye. And
just getting up at 2 o'clock every day, 2:15 I think it was, the alarm used to go off. It was like living with the devil. She was so tired and
but
so
you get addicted to it.
You
get addicted to getting up
live with the devil.
It doesn't mean you enjoy it anymore.
No, but
it's almost an ego thing as well. I started getting struggled with an ego thing. Like I started waking up at 4 a.m. and because I'm not a morning person, and I started doing it, and then I set my alarm for 3:30. And then 3, because I watched The Rock and The Rock would train it, and it became this ego thing that I started doing, and it was quite unhealthy.
Yeah, it is.
And then he's yelling at me, and he's like, you won't even get up and come to Jimmy. I was like, you're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning for no fucking reason. I'm like, but now I'm doing it because honestly, but I feel like it's more like, don't get me wrong. I agree that it doesn't need to be done all the time. There's ways around it, but I get why he does it too, because the whole mindset change of just being able to physically push through that alarm and getting out of bed, in my opinion, is making me better.
Yep.
And although I might need a nap during the middle of the day, or although I might be grumpy at 6 p.m. that night, from the time I wake up till the time I do decide to turn off and go home, I'm on because I've already done what I had to do.
You've won the day.
Yeah.
I think it's important to get that off. I think there's a very mixed message. I just chatted with my barber this morning about this. Is people think
what happened to your head?
People think, they talk about successful people and they go, getting up early. That's not we focus on the wrong message. A lot of people do get up early, but there's part with successful people, what they do is they understand when they work best.
Yeah.
Or and they do that. So whether it's 10 a.m., whether it's 9 a.m., but a lot of people work better because they get those extra hours in. But we always think, it's because they get up early. It's not. It's that you understand what you need to do and you understand you are disciplined enough to wake up at the time that's best for you in what you do. I think that's really important to understand because you don't need to be up at 4 a.m. if you don't need to be up at 4 a.m. if it doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
We're lucky too. On a Friday, we don't take the horses to the track. We work them at home, or give them a swim, or take them to the water walker, as you would have seen a million videos. But so Friday is everybody's sleeping, and the staff are happier. We're happier. The horses are happier. And instead of starting at 4, we start at 6:30. Yeah. Huge difference. Friday
is
a great day.
Sunday hours on a Friday. So, the horses get that twice a week. We get that twice a week most of the time. If you've got something that's important that's coming up and racing and it needs to work.
I've never seen a horse sleep.
Haven't you?
They stand up.
Well, they do. Yeah,
I never watch the
sleep.
fucking things run real fast.
They
you can't bet on them sleeping.
They sleep standing up?
They sleep standing up, so they will rest lying down, but they're not designed to lay down for long periods of time.
See? You didn't know that? They sleep standing up. So they stand still and sleep.
And their structure is designed for that.
They rest their back leg, they rest their back foot on their toe, so they take the weight off that leg.
And then they'll shift it.
They drop their heads down, and they're asleep, and then, I don't know, however long, they'll swap over and they'll take the weight off that leg and rest that one on toe, and it's crazy. It is crazy.
They're designed to do that. Because if a tiger
I've seen Missy do that before she raced. She's like, fuck this, I'm just going to...
That's her in the zone. That's not
a really good thing.
In the zone.
That's what you want.
Really?
So when I've got her nice and relaxed and she's just quiet and she's tired, having a little recap, and then all the owners are popping their heads over, come here, we're going to give her a pat. And I'm just like, fuck off.
Next time I'm going to stand at the fence, and next time anyone walks up, I'm going to say, don't fucking look at my horse.
Next race, we don't say hello to her before the race.
I'm not going. I've already said it.
The first time we're allowed to see her is in the yard when she's doing the walk.
I'm not going again until she wins. I'm a fucking bad omen. Every time I go to the football, my team loses. I'm not that.
No, you see, And that's your mindset, and that's what you're projecting.
Yeah, stop fucking attracting shit.
No, I wasn't projecting it the first time. Believe me, I didn't go drop my fucking house on the horse thinking it was going to lose.
As after the race, Jimmy goes, I was predicting she'd come second. I was like, fuck you! I was like, what do you mean? I know it's better than...
Put on this!
But she came fourth. It's worse than I was predicting. I think that's why. All right, so last one that we'll go through is lifestyle. So it's really important that there's no point going to work and working every day. You guys are lucky that part of your lifestyle is your job, like myself. But... What if you could go back, Lucy, you were talking about, or Jason, you were talking about not drinking as much, probably, a lot of us partied too much when we were younger and finding that balance. What's something you would go back and talk about lifestyle-wise, whether it's travel or just enjoying life? What's the things that you go back and tell yourself?
Yeah, I really enjoy going out camping, fishing, hunting, outdoorsy stuff. I used to do that as much as I could, and I don't regret that one bit. And I probably would have tried to do it more if I could have. Yeah, but I don't really get to do that now, obviously, because it's so consuming being a racehorse trainer. But when I do get a chance to go away for 2 or 3 days, that's what
sounds like you guys need to. The next step of your business is you need to build it into a business and take yourselves out of the job.
A bit of downtime.
You guys have still got a job at the moment. You need to create that accountability and training pattern so that you guys can do this stuff you want to do.
Yeah, fucking hard. In
very hard, but it's what separates jobs from businesses.
Jace did do that actually not that long ago, and we had some amazing help from some friends of ours, so that it was possible. It was great because where he went, it was bumfuck. There was no phone signal, so he couldn't ring me and I couldn't ring him.
Did that kill you?
Nah, I love it.
No, didn't kill either of us. It was great. He came home and I was like, "When are you going again?"
It was impossible for me not to switch off. I had no contact.
I went to perfect. Foster, like I said before, Muswellbrook, and I had for the first day I had such fucking anxiety. Like we tried to do a podcast. And we couldn't get it running right. Like I had no service. And
in a wetsuit on the podcast.
Well, fuck, because I just dead thought it didn't work all morning. My service wasn't working, and I'm like, I'm out on the ski. I'm just gonna have the wetsuit on. It's not gonna work. And then it worked. I was like,
again, there he is again.
Fucking nah. Like I was praying. It was positive. It was positive. I was like, please don't fucking work. I don't want to do this podcast. It wasn't negative, but the first day it took a toll, and B could tell. She was like, just put the fucking phone down and just forget about it.
Walk away from it. Yep.
But the next day was more like, I need to do this more often.
It's such a sense of comfort. Having your phone is such a sense of comfort. Even if you're not doing it, like it's this comfort that we need to remove because you get attached to it. That like I do. Like I
have it in my pocket at home, and B's like, why are you hiding your phone? Not now. Like when we'll go. She's like, do you just put it in there so I can't touch it? And I was like, touch it. It's like, why do you have it in your pocket? Put it away somewhere. And it's like a blanket. It's like a security blanket.
I'll lay on the couch with it in my hand, like because I'm like, it's just, and I try to switch off. I have to actively take times where I, in the drawer, go for a walk or just.
We say a certain time in the evening when we go back inside and we're making our HelloFresh dinner and whatever. That
shout out to HelloFresh.
Shout out to HelloFresh.
My mate's company. The reason we got onto them, they're the ones that provide the fruit and stuff on.
It's good. It's money saving. It's time saving. It takes
the good food too. Good food. Good
fresh. Big up HelloFresh. I'd like another free box, please. I think taking the time out, but being organised. I think that again, accountability, being so organised and getting everything down pat and being able to take that time out and be away. Yes, it's important, but also your input leading up to that. That's another reflection on how well you're doing things. Can you do it? Yeah, you can.
What about you, Lucy? What about you for lifestyle?
I've travelled quite a lot. I've been very fortunate and privileged. I'd like to travel more. I think, probably not so much lifestyle hindsight, more just in present, to be able to take some downtime. And obviously it's a bit hard for me at the moment. I can't go back. I can go back to the UK, but it's not sensible. So, that probably...
You go back, you can't come back here, but
I can, but I have to sit in a freaking hotel for 14 days.
And 2 weeks there, 2 weeks back. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I don't have to do it in the UK because I'm coming from Australia.
Right. What?
Yeah, I don't have to do it in the UK.
Fuck, I'll wear 2 weeks if I'm allowed to travel. Is that a thing?
Well, it depends where you're going, but I'm a citizen. I'm a UK citizen.
Yeah, you can't just go to the UK.
You can't go to the UK. They don't want you there.
I've been weighing this up. I'm like 4 weeks is too much. I could do the 2, but a lot of people we know are in quarantine at the moment. They just come back from fight. So like Tai Tuivasa, who's a UFC fighter, he's just come back, and Arlene Blanco, who we sponsor, they're back, and they're in quarantine. And it's really fucking cool to watch like certain different concept and mine's cope.
Yeah.
Like I follow them all on purpose now to see how certain ones are cope. Like Ty's like fucking tied up in the room. He's like just getting blind daily because he just won his fight. Arlene's doing 3 training sessions a day, like an hour and a half a training session. I've had to deliver candles to them because their room started smelling like a gym. I went and delivered candles to them. Like there's a whole heap of different shit going on inside of there, and I could just imagine how fucked up it'd be if I was in there.
That's good, guys. I think one of the cool concepts here from my takeaway with you guys is, you got everything you guys could want at the moment, pretty much. You just need to add that. You can get a bit of that downtime. I think that's amazing. You should be pretty proud of that. All right, to finish up. So last hindsight, then we'll get you guys to give yourselves a plug. So last one, to summarize sort of everything. This is just a 1-sentence thing that you could go back and sort of tell yourself, like how you'd live your life or anything like that. If you go back, what would you say to your younger self, and how would you say it?
Like a quote you live by, essentially. Like something you'd say to yourself and you think it might resonate.
If you say less, you hear more.
Ooh, I like that.
You've actually lived by that. He's sitting there thinking that. No, he's sitting there thinking in his head, fuck, they talk too much.
He's talking to you.
I know, I've got nothing. I don't know after that. I don't know.
That was good.
That was awesome.
That was
really good.
Now you're gonna have to come up with one.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a week.
What would you say? All right, so put it this way.
Doesn't have to be a mad quote like that.
I don't want to be outdone.
No. What would you say to yourself? Like in a
say more, listen less. Yeah, nailed it.
Yep.
That was fucking good.
That was really good.
I don't know if you would have been talking to yourself or us then, but like as you don't say a lot.
Well, I used to say a lot when I was young, and I was pretty cocky, and I was, okay at what I did, and I was very young, so I was 16, breaking in horses, and doing an older guy's job, and going well, but I was really cocky and used to say a lot and be really loud. And I know now it was probably not the right thing.
2 ears, 1 mouth, use them in that proportion.
Yeah, 100%. So, that's probably what I'd take away from.
Yeah, amazing.
That's the best one so far.
You say that every episode.
The best quote so far. Yeah, but they keep getting better. They must be watching the last one like, I'm going to fucking start writing mine now.
We've got to get something from you, Lucy. It doesn't have to be a quote. What will it be? What would you say? Just
PMA.
Yeah?
PMA.
Positive
mental attitude. PMA.
Brilliant. That was good. Well, now you've sat through everything
for us.
That's the best one
we've...
Oh. All right, so now you've sat through that. Give us a plug. So tell us now, tell the world about yourselves. Tell us, what are you doing now? Who are some people that you want to connect with, either to help to buy horses or that you need for business? And what's coming up? What's on the agenda? Give yourself the plug.
Shall I plug?
You go.
I'll plug. Okay. So we're training racehorses. We're the AKA team. And, we're loving life. We're investing heavily in new stock. We've focused strongly on horses that are not quite cutting the mustard. And we've focused on where we want to be going with these horses and the ownership group that we want to have and that we've got at the moment. We have got 2 horses. One I've got as a all-ladies syndicate ownership opportunities in, Star Spangled Banner Colt, and a new purchase that was just a new purchase yesterday, 3-year-old, untried, shooting to win colt. So there's ownership opportunities in both of those horses. Moving forward, we'll have an active presence at the Magic Million sales and all of the English sales that'll be coming up in 2021. We'll be again looking to raise the bar and raise the profile of the kind of horses that we have, but also in our ownership groups, so that we can step up to the next price bracket. I don't want to bite off more than we can chew and be over ambitious and say that we need to be buying $500,000 horses or $1 million horses. It has its place, and yes, of course, it's necessary, but for us to be able to step up to the next price bracket where we're not 100% speccing on these horses ourselves, we've got support from people to do that, whether that be syndication groups coming on board. We can prove ourselves as trainers. We have already proved ourselves as trainers. Everybody goes through a lean patch, and for us, it's just been the generation of stock, and that we've got a lot of young horses at the moment. Jason trained Sons of John, second closest horse to Winks. Won group races with him. We had a bunch of horses then that we were racing in the city at stakes level, listed level, group level. We've already earned our stripes. We now just need the stock and the owners to continue that.
We've got Tweed and Purposeful Miss coming up the ranks.
Up the Tweed.
Fucking this tweed. Why'd you sell its purposeful fucking mist then?
I didn't sell you that horse.
Yeah, we just brought it to you.
So you did it, that's right. Yeah. Adam did put his little fucking 2 cents on.
For anyone that missed that, so these guys have a we got a lot of female viewers off the back of something. So we could, if any females want to get into syndicates, you got an all ladies one, which I think is pretty fucking cool.
And there's a big bonus in prize money through the Magic Millions. He's a Magic Millions horse. There's an additional 500,000.
He's a female horse.
No, he's not.
It's the opposite of Ladies' Day.
He's signed up for this all ladies ownership, and there's massive.
Making your side piece, ladies.
Yeah.
That's Tweed, yeah? That's Tweed?
No, that's not Tweed.
So how come we didn't discuss what's going on with Tweed?
Look, Tweed's a bit of an inside joke. He's a bit of an inside joke. Oh, he's not a joke. He's not a joke. Anyway.
It's a joke. The horse is a joke.
What happened?
We're going to wait till we get off this.
Yeah, ownership opportunities in the Star Spangled Banner Colt, additional prize money through Magic Millions. That's going to be fantastic. And the horse that we bought yesterday is an untried horse. He's 3 years old. He's shooting to win. Look, he's bred very similar to Purposeful Myth. He looks like he's got the goods. He's done nothing yet, but he'll be arriving in the stable soon, today, and he'll be straight into work, and we'll see where we go with him, but I think he was a smart purchase.
So looking for owners on that as well?
Looking for owners on that.
What kind of owners are you looking for?
Looking for young, dynamic owners that are prepared to get into racing with their eyes wide open. It's not a money-making venture by any stretch. It's a lot of fun with Jason and I. We have owners to the track. We have owners to our home. We have owners that we go drinking with. We have,
podcasts.
Yeah, the whole lot. So we want people that we can include on our friends' fringe is how I like to dress it up. It's not conventional. We have a very personal touch. We try to be as approachable as we can. We try to always make time for any owner that rings us or emails us or texts us. It might be that at that point in time we're busy, but I certainly and Jason try to make the effort to communicate with people.
Yeah, we'll vouch for that. The amount of emails and updates we get from AKA Racing is phenomenal. We don't need to text or call because we know what's going on every step of the way. So.
It's like I was impressed before.
I almost unsubscribed last week. There was that many coming through.
Not her again. Fuck's sake.
I did it really. I stopped everything. I stopped the whole office. I'm like, shut up! Play. Okay, yeah.
Unfortunately, she came fourth again. Fucking stupid fucking.
There he goes, negative projection.
Yeah, we go again. You just focus. You guys still looking for staff? I saw that go up.
No, we're good.
Are you good?
We're good.
You missed out, motherfucker.
Sorry.
No,
do you have any business partners, anyone that can help on a business front that you're looking for?
Probably you, actually, with a bit of planning.
Okay, we can go down that path. Anything else?
She's already got a planner. She mentioned it
before.
That's right.
We
Stop it.
Shout out to her Instagram handle is. No, do you guys, anything from the horse front, anything you're looking for, you're sorted on all that stuff?
I think so.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. I think we're, yeah.
So owners the big one. Anyone looking
one.
to own some weapon horses with some gun trainers? There's you guys. Cool. Thanks for coming on. That was wicked.
Peace
Thanks
out.
for having us.
No, just wait out.